Hey everyone, Shabby here, and welcome back to the little used playlist of Shabby news. I must admit, I've not done much on this recently because of the amount of videos we're recording for everything else. But today, I had to make this video. I mean, I've had a day or so to stew on it now, and I'm just so angry. I don't know why I'm so angry. It just really annoys me. Why on earth, 2 weeks away from Mania, have they made Charlotte the Smackdown Live Women's Champion? Why? What does that achieve? I mean, look at it logically. Already, they've announced that the Women's Triple Threat is going to be the main event of Mania. It's Charlotte, Becky, and Ronda. Ronda is probably not as hot as she was a while ago now. People are starting to get very frustrated with the lack of depth in the character, the poor promos and so forth. People are very annoyed with Charlotte. Not necessarily Charlotte, it's very much the Roman Reigns aspect of Charlotte. No matter what happens, she always seems to get involved. She's always the first in everything, and she always seems to win the championship. And of course, Becky's bringing a massive, massive fan base. She's the hottest thing in WWE at the moment, and rightfully so. She's done a fantastic job to get where she is. And it's going to be a great main event. So why did they need to give Charlotte the Women's Championship 2 weeks away from that match? It just, for me, it confuses things more than anything. I mean, what does that achieve? Now, is it a double championship match? Are we unifying the two Women's Championship belts? What happens to the winner? Do they move to Raw? Do they stay on Smackdown? What happens now? It's just, they've just messed it up. It's made it too complicated. There's just no point in what they did. They had it balanced perfectly. They had people hyped up. They had the match being advertised in all sorts of places because it was a big thing, being the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania. They had it all balanced. Why did they bother doing this? Because on the flip side, all they've done is they've screwed over Asuka. Asuka, for me, arguably, is the best women's wrestler they have. I mean, just in-ring ability, Asuka's the best in the ring. You could arguably say that obviously people are better on the mic, have better characters than Asuka. Obviously a bit of a struggle for Asuka, it's not her main language. But for me, she's the best in-ring competitor. Now, what happens to her? She's gone from thinking she's going to have a WrestleMania Championship match to all of a sudden probably even being bunged in the Andre the Giant Memorial Women's Battle Royal or whatever it was called last year. It doesn't make any sense. It must have been a real last-minute decision. Must have been, because obviously, it was scheduled to be a fatal four-way for the #1 contendership on SmackDown yesterday, and all of a sudden, they just threw this match in instead, and that fatal four-way got cancelled. It does not make any sense to me whatsoever. It's just absolutely pointless, and it screwed over those four ladies. And I saw quite a lot of them on Twitter. The four ladies were supposed to be in that match, and they were very disappointed. They sort of went along the lines of putting all your eggs in one basket and all that sort of thing. It's just frustrating. The thing is, it's sort of counterproductive. It's like it's a massive thing. We're gonna have the Women's Championship being the main event of the night, but we're not gonna have two Women's Championship matches. We're just gonna have one instead. They could have showcased two fantastic women's matches on WrestleMania, but no, now they just showcase one. It bamboozles me why they did that. I can only imagine they're trying to make it seem a bit more special, but it was already going to be good. The thing is with this match, right, it's going to main event Mania. It needs to be a good match. I mean, it doesn't matter for me, personally. I don't care if there's a championship involved in the main event of Mania. As long as that match is the best match, then I'm happy. And in previous years, that match at the end of Mania has not been the best match of the night. It has an opportunity this year to be that, with the ability they have in there. And just throwing extra useless bits at it to try and make it seem more special from the outside, it just doesn't work for me. I really feel like they've made a massive monumental cock-up here. It just made no sense what they've done. It hasn't advantaged Charlotte. It hasn't advantaged that women's main event at all. All it has done is it's just screwed Asuka over. I mean, there was rumours of an Asuka versus Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose triple threat at Mania. And that would have been interesting. I'm not saying it was going to be the best match of the night, but it would have been probably the split of Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. It would have been quite interesting. And Asuka would have done well and probably almost won like a handicap match. It would have been an interesting match to see, but now we're not going to get that because somebody thought, I'm going to say someone, I know it's probably Vince. Vince thought that we should give Charlotte a championship. I think sometimes it might be Becky's fault. I know that sounds stupid, but it's the stuff that Becky says and does on Twitter, and then all of a sudden WWE must have to react to it. So Becky said, of course, at one point recently, Ronda's bringing the championship, Becky's bringing the crowd. What's Charlotte bringing to this? And maybe WWE panicked and gone, you know what, she's right. What is the point of Charlotte being in this match? I know what the point of Charlotte being in that match is. It's because Ronda is still not experienced enough to be able to hold a match of that magnitude for that period of time. So they know that they need to have that third person in there. They do it quite often. I mean, there's quite a few people that they know cannot withstand a match of that long in that sort of pressure. They need that extra bit. And I can imagine that it's going to be very much like I think I said about it in my video I did recently on the Triple Threat. I think that it's going to necessarily be the case, a bit like a Brock Lesnar match where Ronda gets taken out by Charlotte and Becky early on, maybe put through the announce table or something, and then Charlotte and Becky will go at the match themselves for a while. And that allows Ronda to sit out of the match for a good 5-10 minutes at some point maybe, and I think that would be the best thing. So that's that for me. I understand why Charlotte's in there. It needs to be done to get the best out of the match. I think a one-on-one match between Ronda and Becky would have been okay, but I think it probably would have not been as good as we would have hoped, but the triple threat does work. I have no problem with the triple threat. I just can't understand the point of Charlotte getting the SmackDown Women's Championship. I mean, it was a great match on SmackDown, don't get me wrong, it was a really good women's match, but again, so close to WrestleMania, dropping a championship and giving it to someone who's not going to defend that championship at Mania. There's rumoured to be 17 matches at Mania. 17 matches. And none of them is going to be the SmackDown Women's Championship. There's 2 main women's championships in WWE, and one of them is not going to be defended. Or it might be defended, but in a double championship match, what's the point? I just don't understand the point. I really don't. And I'm not the only one. I thought I was the only one. I got so angry when I saw this, and I just could not understand it. So I went online and tried to see if someone can explain to me why the point of this was, and I found out that I was not alone. I think everyone seemed to think the same thing. It's just it was a waste of time, to be honest. And it's taken away from Asuka's WrestleMania. And I can only imagine that Asuka must be furious. I mean, I know that they won't say they are in public because they don't want to risk their job and so forth, but Asuka must be furious. She's gone from thinking she's going to wrestle at WrestleMania now to potentially being in a massive multi-woman battle royal instead. Which has not even been announced yet, but I don't imagine it's going to be now because if you think about it, there's 8 women in the tag team championship match and 3 women in the Raw championship match, and then there's the entire SmackDown women's roster with nothing else to do now because they've got no championship belt to fight over. So I don't know. Am I going over the top? Am I just babbling for no apparent reason? Let me know. What do you think in the comment section down below? Do you think that Charlotte getting the belt had a reason, had a point? Or are you like me and you just think to yourself it was pointless? They should have just left it the way it was. The match at Mania was going to be the match at Mania either way. Adding this championship for me just makes it a bit more confusing, a bit more... I don't know. I just don't get it. I really don't. We'll have to wait and see what happens. I mean, surely the belt's got to be on the line. Surely Charlotte has to put the SmackDown Live Championship on the line. If she doesn't, it's going to look stupid. I mean, if it doesn't, she's going to lose at WrestleMania to Becky Lynch, but then still walk away with the SmackDown Championship. I don't know. I can see what probably is going to happen. Look at how slow these referees are. In my opinion, I think Becky's going to win. She's going to hold both belts at the end of the show. And then after Mania, she's going to be forced to choose which one she wants to keep, on which show she wants to keep it on, and vacate the other. That's what I think is going to happen, but I just don't see the point. Why? Unless it's all a convoluted way to keep Becky Lynch on SmackDown. Because she could do that. She could win both belts. So I'm starting to make these sentiments myself now, but not in a very good way. Yeah, she could win both belts at WrestleMania. Then she could get the choice of staying on Raw, or staying on SmackDown, or moving to Raw. And she could pick to stay on SmackDown, give the Raw Championship back, and we have some sort of Raw Championship Women's title tournament. I've got no idea. Anyway, I'm going to stop babbling now because I could go on about this in circles for ages, but I'm not making much sense now. Like I said, please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Do you agree with me? Am I wrong? Don't get me wrong, if there's a genuine reason where you can tell me that it makes sense for Charlotte to have the Women's Championship of SmackDown, let me know. But I'm just disappointed that they've taken it away from Asuka so close to Mania. I really am. And PJ Toby's coming to my house to watch WrestleMania. And I know Asuka is his favourite female wrestler. And now he's not going to get a proper chance to see her. He's not going to be happy. When I tell him, he's going to be furious. Anyway, if you have enjoyed this video, please do hit a like. Of course, if you're not already, then hit that subscribe button already. Yeah, just I don't know. I don't know what to do. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you much for watching. And I'll see you next time. Bye.
The one to